Welcome to Endorian Guitar Works Backstage.
A guided look at life experiences and the ways and means of the guitarist's journey.
I'm Matt Ackerman.
I'm Brian McCoy.
We have one heck of a show for you guys today. Thanks for joining us early. We usually do this about 7 p.m. on Sundays, and we're going to do this at 3 o'clock because it's when we could get our awesome band on the airwaves with us.
That's right, and that's why we're wearing these fancy-ass cans today.
We didn't just get these on sale at Best Buy. They actually serve a purpose. Yes. So, well, cool. So, again, this is Endorian Guitar Works Backstage. Before we get to our band, we want to talk about something we did last weekend. You want to tell them?
Last Sunday, we had a pretty cool day. Matt picked me up. And we drove up to Tacoma. We spent pretty much all day hanging out in the Tacoma Dome at the Guitar and Drum Festival, and I think we had a good time.
Yeah, it was absolutely great. There were a lot of small shops up there, small builders, boutique builders. I think I met 2 or 3 people that build Fender Telecasters. Yeah. They all have like their personal little take on the instrument, which is fantastic, right? I ended up coming home with a guitar, and you can kind of see it right back there. Ended up being a gentleman's first prototype instrument. We'll be featuring that later on. It's just absolutely great day. If you have an opportunity to go to that show next year or anything else that's happening anytime soon that's like that, you should definitely take the time. Everybody is there with the same mission, just to get their stuff in front of people. And it was a really, really powerful day. Good for the soul and good for making those connections.
And who knows, we might have a booth there next year, so keep an eye out for that as well.
Absolutely. Well, let's not waste any more time talking about last week because
we're here.
We're here and now, and I'm super excited to get this band. So I'm going to introduce a ska band from the Pacific Northwest, Los Ocupados, in the house right now. Thank you so much for joining us on Endorian Guitar Works Backstage. How are y'all doing today?
Hi.
Yeah, just fine.
Keeping warm by the fire, it looks like.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I like the backdrop.
So let's see, there's how many we have? Are there 6 of us that I see
We're
right
6.
now? 6. Awesome. Where are you right now? Are you in Tacoma? Or are you in Rainier?
We're in Olympia.
Oh, right in downtown.
We're in downtown Olympia.
Oh,
man.
right.
Well, let's just get in the car. We'll just come down and see you.
Yeah,
then.
it's not too far from where we're at right now. Right. So you guys though are all from different parts of the Pacific Northwest, at least originally, correct?
Yeah.
So why don't you guys introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about where you come from and who you are, how long you've been playing, that kind of sort of stuff.
Okay, we'll just go clockwise. Someone will start.
All right. So I'm James Scott. I'm originally from Gilroy, California, and I moved up to Olympia in the early 2000s, and I've been here ever since.
Right on.
Very cool. And I think I've seen James play guitar once before, about 10 years ago, doing a really cool Neil Diamond thing. If I remember correctly. When I found out that James played in this band, I was thrilled. He's a great performer.
Yeah, right on.
Yes, Olympia used to have a show that was a bunch of tribute bands for Halloweens, and I was Neil Diamond.
Night of the Living tribute bands. Hopefully we can bring that back one of these years.
Yeah.
All right, who's next? Who else is in the band?
Okay, that's not clockwise, but okay, I can go next. I'm Mari, and I'm originally from Margarita Island, Venezuela, and I have been in the U.S. for the last 10 years. And yeah, I'm now in Rainier, Washington, and Kirkland, so I live in 2 different cities.
Oh, wow.
Right
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
All
I
right.
have to go. Someone has to go. Okay.
Okay, hello, I'm Tad.
How's it going, Tad?
Yo, how's it going? Yeah, I played saxophone back in high school, and then I set it down for 20 years. And then my wife, Mari, here, decided to join a band, and she couldn't sing and play saxophone at the same time, so
It's pretty hard.
I picked my saxophone back up, and I've been in the band ever since.
Right on.
That's awesome. Yeah, you can try to quit the saxophone, but the saxophone never quits you, right?
Yeah, saxophone just stays with you.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Brad. I'm actually not from Olympia originally. I'm from Salt Lake. Been here since mid 2000s, and generally a guitar player, but hey, bass is usually easier to find bands to join. So I decided to pick it up and been doing it ever since.
Yeah, and I know Matt knows about that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you can be a guitar player, you can be anything, but if you pick up the bass, people will want to hire you.
It's truth.
But I've also learned with bass, you learn a lot of new techniques that you don't realize apply to guitar as well, and it's a completely different beast than people really think it is.
Yep.
That's true. That's very true.
I'm Luke. I'm the drummer. I'm from Chicago. I've been playing for more than like 30 years, so I've been a drummer my entire life. But I grew up in Chicago, bounced around the entire country for about 20 years. I moved back here in 2020, so been around a little bit, done some stuff.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
And I'm Mike, trombone player.
Last but certainly not least, right?
Yeah, right. I'm originally from Concord, California, which is Bay Area. I've been playing trombone for 24 years now. I put it down for about the last 7, so I picked it back up and started playing with these guys.
Right on.
Cool.
I also used to be a trombone player
I always forget that, but he
Oh,
absolutely
cool.
was,
back in
yeah.
high school, so great to have you for sure.
Did you do marching band?
I did do marching band and jazz band. I quit my senior year to go to college, and never really looked back. Picked up the guitar from there, but definitely still have some fond memories of my days with the bone.
Are you ever tempted to? Are you ever tempted like hit the like when you're marching band with a trombone? You ever like
Yeah,
hit the
tempted.
person
Yes.
in front of you?
Actually,
We were
I
we were
was-
just talking about that before the interview about
Yeah.
making sure
Yeah.
that Mike didn't hit me.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder than Jam Space.
Yeah.
The band I was in high school where I played trombone, that was one of the things. But I was kind of a jerk at one point. I emptied out my spit valve on a flute player's head once. That was
Oh no.
Luke
That's
absolutely
pre-COVID.
hates that.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was, I think middle school. I think it was in 8th grade, so I was a little shithead.
8th grade, just 8th grade.
Just 8th grade. That's all. That's as far as I'm going to go with that.
So what's it like starting a band in the pandemic? That's got to be wild.
So yeah, I mean, for me, like, I was I answered an ad on Facebook that was a ska band looking for a guitarist, which I was in ska bands like just out of high school back in California. So you're talking earlier about how nobody's ever looking for a guitarist. So that just blew my mind right there.
Yeah, right. Misprint.
And not only that, but also a ska band, which I have experience in. So yeah, it's like I knew that I was going to kick myself if I did not answer that ad. And so that's how I got into it. And yeah, I think we practiced for maybe like a month before around
lockdown.
September of 2020, right before like the second shutdown happened.
Yeah.
And so for the next 6 months, we just tried to keep things going over
Zoom
Like,
and like Google
Zoom and
Drive.
just like just whatever online forum we could just
Yeah.
try like share ideas and but because we weren't getting together, and so things moved kind of slowly at that time, but it also actually in a way helped us because we had some different members at that time, and being forced to not get together in person, like the people that weren't as I'm committed to actually doing and participating in this thing just kind of fell away during that time.
Yeah.
And we all just kept talking, just tried to keep it going as best we can. And so that's kind of how we got where we are now.
Yeah.
Did you tend to do, did you do any, and I think I know the answer to this question, but I just want to check. Did you do any
Okay.
like live concerts? Because, you know, once you start playing, once you get a repertoire, you're ready to go out, but there's nowhere to play. So how did you handle that?
We did 2 backyard parties.
Okay.
So all we were trying to do things are outdoors
Mhm.
because it was pretty. We were in like a punk 3-piece band, maybe it would have been easier. But like a lot of the restrictions was like 5 people from like different
Right,
households,
right.
and we were more than 5. So yeah, we did 2 backyard parties. One in Rainier. That was our anniversary. We've been married for 6 years. Was almost 7 now.
Congratulations.
So we did our anniversary party was actually our first show, and it was supposed to be outside, and it was beautiful. And you know how the Pacific Northwest is.
Yeah.
It just rain and rain and rain, 100% rain that day. And it stopped raining and the sun came out just when we finished playing.
Yep, that
Awesome.
sounds typical. That's Pacific Northwest love for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
the weather wanted you to party and play less, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you still got your show. So.
Well, we on the other
yeah.
hand do want you to play more.
That's true.
And we've noticed a few comments about the fireplace as well, saying that Los Ocupados is truly on fire, you could say.
Yeah,
So
we're on fire.
we'd love to give you guys a chance to
Yep.
burn our screens up right now.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, with their first song and first set, we're going to let them do their audio. This is Los Ocupados.
That's
Take
right.
it away, guys.
Yep.
This is called A Better Way. That's one of our
This
originals.
is the first song we ever wrote together.
Yeah, it was the first song we ever wrote together.
All right, ready?
So much negativity continues these days. We've been sending mixed signals, obey and disobey. It's to supposed to protect and serve, compromise and stuff, but we have to find a way. We have to hope that tomorrow will be better than today. Working together, we will find a better way. History repeats over and over again. I've seen this story happen once before. Divide and conquest, politicians' favorite quote. Fighting each other, distract us from what's wrong. Let's stop the division so we can move along. We have to hope that tomorrow will be better than today. Working together, we will find a better way. History repeats over and over again. So much negativity in the news these days. We've been sending mixed signals, obey and disobey. It's just to supposed to protect and serve, compromise and stuff, but we have to find a way. We have to hope that tomorrow will be better than today. Working together, we will find a better way. History repeats over and over again. Hey, so that's the first one. We have another one for you on this set.
Yeah.
Very
One
nice.
is one that I really enjoy to sing. It's called Only Sky Can Save Us. And we also actually have merch with this name on it. So
Okay.
look out for it in one of our shows. Days go by and all seem dark, but it's time to let in the light. Look around and try to find a reason to smile. I confess I feel your pain, but you know only sky can save us. The world keeps beside you. If you feel distress, please don't forget. Happiness is long overdue. The world keeps spinning and birds are singing. We know that spring is coming. So don't fret, better days are ahead. A sky is here to save us. Oh, the sky. Oh, the sky. Oh, the sky can save us. Oh, the sky. Oh, the sky. Oh, the sky can save us. Disconnect yourself from the digital world and play your favorite record. The sky, the sky can save. Turn the volume all the way up. Just let the beat move you along. Oh, the sky. Oh, the sky. Oh, the sky. Oh, the sky can save us.
That's awesome.
Need to put this down.
Awesome, yeah.
We'll talk for a minute. They're getting their audio
Yeah, they
feed
have
set
some
back
audio
up.
stuff to sort out between sets, but that was great.
That was a heck
awesome.
of a set. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
We can hear you now.
Yay.
All right. You know,
That was awesome. That was great.
that was fantastic. And it more than makes up for our technology issues on both ends of the video camera here. That was fantastic. I love that I loved them both, but the last Only Scott Can Save Us, that I love the way that your melodies, like your instrumentation really complemented that song. You know, the guitar takes
Thank
the
you.
leads, it moves to the trombone, moves to the bass and the sax. I felt like the melody was absolutely floating through the entire piece and everybody got a part of it. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's a lot. I mean, I'm hearing kind of a band that you and I were talking about earlier, Save Ferris, kind of type of vibe.
That's a big influence on me.
Oh well, that kind of leads into into our
we'll
next
scratch
question.
off the
Scratch that one off.
question. Yeah.
But no, I watched a couple of your videos that you have on your Facebook page and noticed, there's a lot of the influence seems to come from, Toots and the Maytals and the Specials and bands like that are pretty major. A little bit of that Save Ferris there. Can you guys talk a little bit about what has inspired you to make this music and who some of your influences are along that line?
Do we go to same order?
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
same thing. So, yeah, I think I probably first got into ska when a friend got me a Mighty Mighty Boss Tone CD for my 15th birthday.
It happens.
It happens, yeah. And that was just the thing that just broke open the entire world of music that was just below the surface of like on the radio type of stuff.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, probably about a year later, I started learning how to play guitar and got into bands like Link 80 and NU330 and Blue Meanies and Animal Chin and Siren 6 and just the whole like underground ska scene. And that's kind of what really got me going there.
Right on.
I remember when I got my first Boston CD, it was, I think it was like in 9th grade and I was dating a gal at the time who was like super into ska, and I went to the record store and I picked up Ska Core, The Devil and More, and those opening horn pops on the first track, you can't just listen to, it's like a can of Pringles with that album. Like you put that on, you're listening to the whole thing, you're invested.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm next.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, for me, it was a little different because I'm not from this country. So the ska that I listened to was mostly traditional ska and Latin ska. So the first band that I ever heard, like ska band, I was like 5 years old and I was watching like a kids show and they were doing a cover of Desorden Público, which is like one of my favorite bands, and they're from Venezuela. And I was just like, this is awesome. And that's how I got into ska music. And I just been to so many shows like at the beach and everywhere. And moving to the US was great because a lot of bands that I never had the chance to see in Venezuela, I have been able to see here. Save Ferris is one that it was the first CD that I ever bought with my own money when I was like, I think 12 years old. So yeah, it means everything. That's like an album that I love. And yeah, it's a big influence, like singing wise, I guess, for me. For the saxophone, I always wanted to play saxophone, but the bands, like the marching band that I joined in Venezuela, they never had an available saxophone, so I always had to be in the percussion section, and I hated it. And so when I finally was able to work like at 18, I bought myself my first saxophone, and that's when I first started. Then I dropped it for years, and I got back like I think 5 years ago.
Right on.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm into, like, my influences. Anything is fast and heavy and makes me moving.
Yep.
There you go.
A dude with a mohawk that doesn't know how to play bass, drums, or guitar, but knows how to play saxophone, they naturally lead themselves into ska punk.
Yeah, I did notice on some of your videos too, you know, the Bad Religion or Rancid t-shirts and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I grew up in, is that punk rock scene, No Effects, and hearing you guys play is kind of brings me back to the Warped Tour days.
Yeah.
Seeing Bucko 9 and those kind of bands on the side stages with No Effects and Bad Religion and those punk rock roots.
That's actually how I got into it. Is Warped Tour. You know, I was more into, like, I remember going to see Quicksand at first Warped Tour.
Nice.
And ended up seeing more ska, like seeing Sublime live. You know, getting to see stuff like that, and then kind of coming to it from that angle.
Right
Did
on.
you check out the Warp Tours that were that had in the old Kingdome parking lot, like the original Warp Tours?
I was in Salt Lake at that time.
Okay.
So like the first Warped Tour I went to was at Salt Air in Utah, and it's just like this old rundown old water slide park on
The first.
right next to this Great Salt Lake, and it kind of stunk.
I was at those.
Yeah, the
North
first
lot and
Warp
South
Tour
lot.
that I went to, they hadn't torn down the Kingdome yet. They were building Safeco Field, as it were, and saw Rancid and Less Than Jake like one set apart from each other on the same day. It was fantastic.
I think that was
Was that
the same-
98 or 99?
That was
It was like-
99.
or 97. Was it?
No, that
Okay.
was 99. 97
Okay.
was at the Gorge.
Yeah, because I saw that same 1-2 punch in Oakland.
Yeah,
So.
I think it was 99. And I believe that was also like Suicidal Tendencies was there. You had Eminem actually came out during
Yeah.
Ice-T's set.
Eminem.
Sorry, Ice-T was there.
Yeah, Ice motherfucking T, bitch. Like that was. He's like, my name's not Ice-T. It was the greatest thing ever.
Eminem was there too that year, I think. with
Yeah.
the next one.
Eminem came out with Ice-T, and that was like his introduction to the Seattle crowd. It was, nobody knew who he was, and then a couple years later he hit with his first record with Dre, and it was like this whole thing. So
Nice.
Tad's looking at me, so I guess I'm gonna talk. I got lucky enough to grow up in Chicago, and we had the Fireside Bowl. James already name dropped the Blue Meanies, and that was like life changing for me because I was a jazz kid. My first drum instructor was like, "You're gonna learn jazz. That's all you're gonna know." And then the Blue Meanies start playing like jazz with hardcore, with ska, with like every other thing you could think of. Add in some Less Than Jake, and I think the third ska band I ever heard was Voodoo Glow Skulls. So like Ted's a metal guy that likes ska. I'm a ska guy that likes metal, and they just kind of there's a lot of ska core and stuff. Right? So yeah, Chicago was the best place in the world in the '90s for ska. James will argue with me all day and say California was, but it's wrong.
Yeah, but half the bands I listed are from the Midwest. So
yeah, Chicago was a great spot in the '90s. I mean, that's Lollapalooza started around the Midwest and everything too, with Jane's Addiction. So yeah, they brought a lot of that rock and roll, and ska obviously follows.
So my first experience with ska was when my sister brought home a couple CDs from school that her friend let her borrow. Luke doesn't like the one band I'm going to mention, Real Big Fish.
Oh, okay.
And, but he does like the other one, the Mad Caddies.
There you go.
So those were my two influences. I do have, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. That was a CD that a friend gave me in high school. So
right on.
Well, and that's one of the great things about a band, right? You don't have to, as long as everyone likes some of the core pieces, right? You just
Yeah.
draw from those influences, and
Yeah,
I mean,
everybody's
I
gonna
played
take
a-
influence from a different place.
I was heavily influenced by, Ty Zamora, the original bass player of Alien Ant Farm, and people say, really? And I'm like, well, yeah, and I've actually taken those ideas and put them into like old school metal bands as well, and people are like, where'd that bass line come from that glued it together? It's like, well, actually from this like poppy idea that it's like
It's entirely
Totally, yeah.
everything works as long as you
entirely
put it,
true.
as long as you stick
Yep.
it in there in the right way.
Back in college, I was one of the guys making fun of him for that Alien Ant Farm stuff. But then when he came and joined my metal band and put some of that bass lick together, it blows people
Well,
away.
it's a song about a lady Jane,
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I saw those guys play in Gilroy before they hit big,
Uh-huh.
and that bass player, I really remember him because he was just amazing. So I'm pretty sure that's the same guy.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely the same guy. He knew how to work the stage. I mean, he was musical,
Yeah.
and then he created an act and a persona around
Absolutely.
it. I was standing in line at the EMP. Well, now the science
The
fiction
Mop-up.
Yeah, but they were open. No one knew how they were. Like the people who knew the song on the radio didn't know that they were Alien Ant Farm, and they were in line for Lifehouse. And everyone walked in and had their minds blown. But they're not ska, but influences, So
Yeah.
so you have a lyric in that last tune, "Only Ska Can Save Us," about the digital age. What
I know.
and-
And that made me kind of laugh a little bit because we're doing this digitally.
We are.
Exactly. Well, we are doing
Virtual
this,
digital.
but how do you feel? Like, it's interesting because right up until pandemic, we were talking about, we're all looking. Those of us that have kids are telling our kids to get off go outside and play, and this and that and this and that. When we instantly turned it on its head, and now we need the digital age, and the music industry has really like changed a bit in the past 2 years. And I mean, what are your thoughts on how the internet has affected music, especially in the past couple of years?
I got this all day.
All right.
Mari and I do all of our booking, and
Yeah.
we've made a lot of ska band friends. Shout out Hans Gruber the Diehards; they're like our best friends in Texas. But
Yeah.
like all over the country, all over the world, really, we've been meeting all these ska bands that I've never met in person, and there's such a good scene because of the internet. I'm an old school ska kid, in the '90s in the Midwest. I didn't know Animal Chin until I got older because they're in California. I never got to see them, and the internet was still young. Now, all this brand new music, I got to bring to the band and be like, yo, check out what this band's doing, and this band, and this band. We get hit up on social media, like, we're going to be in Tacoma. Can we play a show with you? Can we set something up? These bands we would never have known each other had it not been for the internet.
Yeah.
It's great for distribution. It's great for meeting people. It's great for just creating a scene. Because what we have now globally is a scene like I had in the Midwest back in the '90s. And that's absolutely amazing.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah. It's great.
On a personal level, about a year ago, I was looking to do some solo creative stuff, and I didn't have a drummer, and I was looking for drum tracks, like just in the box drum tracks, and I found a guy who laid down a really good drum track for a backing track on YouTube, and I reached out to him, and he's in Mexico. I've never met him, still haven't met him, and we keep in touch like buddies now. It's just it has really brought people together, and that you nailed it. It's not just that it's not that you have, it kind of feels like pen pals, but it's not like you just have a bigger reach, but you've taken a larger community and actually make it felt like a micro community, and it's like it's the Midwest,
The world is certainly getting smaller.
Also to bring up, so like before I even joined Los Ocupados, during the actual midst of the pandemic, I ended up joining another band with a friend. We were purely virtual. So like I'm here in Washington, the singer lives in Mexico City, the guitarist lives in Texas, the keyboardist lives in Georgia, and the drummer lives in Georgia. And the only person I've ever met is the guitarist.
Wow.
But
Wow.
we've done an entire album, and we have an original song out as well. So, digital age is good for that because we did an entire album without ever actually meeting face to face.
Wow, that's wild. That's really wild. That's
it really
cool.
is. Well, let's go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think the same thing you were gonna say.
Yeah, I want to hear 2 more songs because
Yeah.
even though we're gonna turn off our camera, we're gonna dance over here. So.
Matt's been skanking in his seat.
And
danceable too.
And a shout out to the band. I was held up in the ER and out, and they did this whole song, so I haven't had time to do bass for it. So I get to go back to elementary and play the eggs.
All right. So for their set number 2, Los Ocupados.
Okay, so right now we're gonna switch things up a little bit. This is our Spanish part of the set. And this song is very special to me because as an immigrant, someone that's far away from home, sometimes I don't get to see my family, I don't get to see my friends, my food. And this song is about that. So yeah, this is called Lejos de Casa, which translates to away from home. Despedí, nos mantenemos en contacto. Siempre pienso en ti, no importa dónde estés, mi corazón se siente así. La vida da muchas vueltas y un día vendrás aquí. A veces faltan las palabras para expresar mi sentir. Extraño muchas cosas, todo quedó dentro de mí. Vivir lejos de casa nunca será fácil. Uno se adapta, pero lo que se quiere es extrañar. El anhelo sigue allí. La vida da muchas vueltas y un día vendrás aquí. A veces faltan las palabras para expresar mi sentir. Extraño tantas cosas, todo quedó dentro de mí. Vivir lejos de casa nunca será fácil. Uno se adapta, pero lo que se quiere es extrañar. It's been many years since I said goodbye. I miss you so much. You were always by my side. No matter where you are, my heart feels this way. Life is full of surprises, and one day we'll meet again. Sometimes I can't express how I feel. I miss so many things. It's all inside of me. To live away from home is never easy. You do it after all, but you miss what you love. forgot to mention that that's a new song. This is the first time we ever play this for anyone. So this is the
Sounding
world
wonderful
review.
so far.
Okay, so this next one is called Feminista De Vocillo, and it's another song in Spanish. And this one is fun because I used to play with my old band back in the late 2000s. So yeah, I was pretty young when we wrote this song. I hope you enjoy it.
All right.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Feminista de hoy en día, que se las tiran de que son muy listas, quieren igualdad en el plano sexual, pero les molesta tener que luchar. Feminista de la boca para afuera, solo los derechos te interesan, pero a la hora de actuar prefieres que lo hagan los demás. Nunca dejes de pelear, lucha sin descansar, pero no esperes más de lo que das. Igualdad de derechos, su responsabilidad. Va tan rápido esta vida y hay que buscar nuevas alternativas. Hay mucho que ganar y también que perder. Depende de todo en qué lado estés. Nunca dejes de pelear, lucha sin descansar, pero no esperes que sea fácil. Lo que fácil viene, fácil se va. Fácil se va.
That was
All
fantastic.
right.
That was
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. I'm enjoying this. This is great.
So
It's kind of it's totally bringing me back to my my high school years.
you have the ability to pump that much energy through, a Zoom call.
Yeah, no doubt.
We need to do the next time we interview these folks, we're gonna be like at a show. 'Cause
Yeah, and we
that's
definitely are.
Yep.
We definitely are going to interview you guys again. And
I mean, assuming you let us, but this is
yes.
It's so cool to see and hear ska alive and well now. It's intense.
Yeah, great energy. We're loving it on our end, and can't wait to see you guys live.
Let's talk about.
We've got a woo.
Yeah, we have a
comments.
woot and lots of hands clapping in our comment section right now.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
We can't see you, but we love you.
Man, I feel that way like every day right now.
A lot of checkered flags too. It's totally on point.
I want
Yeah.
to make sure we cover what's next for you guys. I'm looked at your website and I see on 6/9 there's a Real Art Tacoma. There's a show, and there's a show at the Airport Tavern, and another show in early July. And you mentioned to me earlier that there might be some changes to some of these bills. What's going on soon?
So for June, so that one is June 9th in Real Art, and we have Rat Max, Dead Amy, and Skull Kid, which is a headliner. We're gonna open that show that
Cool.
day. So if you want to see us, you have to come early.
All right.
And then the next one in July 2nd is McFilers. That's a pretty cool bar in Chehilas. That's an area where we haven't played before. So we're trying to like we want to collect all of the counties possible.
Yep.
So
Of course, yeah.
so we played,
Especially Ska Mania.
yeah, we want to find a show in Scamania, but it hasn't been possible so far. We played in Thurston, we played in Pierce, we played Mason County, I guess, because we did a show in Shelton.
That's right.
And
That's right. Saw
so-
that video.
Yeah,
Ska,
so
we have a comment. Ska is my life, and I will never abandon it. So you're leading. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Sorry
it's
to
our
interrupt.
life too. Yeah, no problem. Then we have a show in Airport Tavern. I think Airport Tavern's a July 9th, but I might have the date switch.
We'll make sure we get them right before we post it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the one that has an additional band. So it has Dirty Tribe, which are like our best friends. We love them. We have played with them before in a Spanish ballroom, and another awesome band from Tacoma called the Tonins. And then we have another show in August. That's a new one in Lucky Liquor. That's in Tequila. So that's going to be our first show in King County. Then it's with another ska punk band. They're a tribute band. It's called Dog Savage. So those are the shows we have so far planned. Sure, there's more that are going to come down the pike. And we are recording too. So we're going to start recording. We have recorded a couple of our songs. We're recording the others and writing. So the plan is to have an LP ready sometime this year. We're hoping November.
Okay.
That's the date that we have right now.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
Looking forward to having that.
Yeah.
We do have a couple more comments we want to share with you. Ska now more than ever.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
And
Yes.
there's-
love you from mom in Canada. So I don't know who that is.
That's
that's
Tad's mom.
fun.
All
Tad's
right.
mom.
Thanks, mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, mom.
Gotta
You've
love
got to
that
have the
parental
support of your parents. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess, kind of along with that. So before we have to wrap up, what is the best advice that you've been given, whether directly related to your music or something that pushed you towards music? What's the good word?
Well, I guess music related, the best advice I ever got was just to write and don't worry about if it's good or bad or if you sound like somebody else or whatever. Just the more you keep doing it, the more you find your sound, the better you get at it. And it's just an excellent form of expression, just period. So even if nobody else ever hears it, it's really good for you.
That's great advice.
That's great advice.
Yeah, my best advice was before getting on stage for the first time, and another dude that was in a band, he's like, "Hey, do 2 or 3 beers, not 4 or 5." And it was great advice.
That's also really good advice.
That's good advice in golf.
Yeah, and by about the 13th, 14th hole, you don't care anymore. Right on.
To say, work hard, play harder.
Yep.
That's always good advice. Yeah, no matter what you're doing in life, right?
Yep.
All right.
Right on. Well, thank you guys for joining us today.
Los Ocupados, thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
out.
thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely.
This was fun.
We'll have you again if you'll have us.
Yes,
And
of
definitely
course.
go check them out live.
Yep.
Check out their Facebook page or any other socials. You're on Instagram as well.
Instagram. We have a YouTube channel, so we hope to upload some new content there soon.
Yeah, so go seek them out. Go check them out.
Send us the link to your merch when you get it all set up. We'll be more than happy to put that out for you.
Thank you.
right.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
You guys have a
you.
great Memorial Day weekend. Thank you again for coming out. For
Likewise, thank
keeping the
you.
music going.
Take care,
All
you
right.
guys.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Los
Bye.
Ocupados.
Wow,
That was cool.
that was fantastic.
That was a lot of fun.
I'm gonna
That was a lot of fun.
That was super
What a
fun.
great band. They got wonderful energy. They have the sound there. It's very reminiscent of some of those 90s bands that we were talking about, but it's definitely got their own twist to it. And
Yeah, I
think
was
that's-
definitely feeling the
it's very
Save
good.
Ferris, and I was feeling like there were elements in some of those tunes where I was feeling some Sublime.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a little bit of that.
Yeah. Tara says sounded great. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was awesome. We appreciate having them on, and definitely we'll try to have them on again.
Yeah. For those of
maybe
you
after
just
they get their album finished.
For those of you just popping on, we'll make sure that we get this uploaded. I don't know if it's going to happen today, but by the end of the weekend, we'll have this episode up. And got to check out Los Ocupados. Those last 4 songs were absolutely killer.
Yeah, they were great.
So, well, let's talk about what's next for us. We're bringing in, let's see, 2 more on the schedule. Actually, about 3 more, I think. So we have Liam Kyle Cahill. He is going to be playing with us on Tuesday, June 14th. He's like folk rock out of Nevada. Great guy. Just put out an album. I think it's coming out on July 1.
We may have to reschedule that date.
Okay, well, we don't need to worry about that right now.
But yeah, that second week of June, we'll make that work.
If you are local, if you are Pacific Northwest local, or you feel like traveling, come out and meet Brian and I on Saturday, June 25th. We'll be out in Olympia at a local festival, just doing everything guitar. So that'll be cool. I'll put the details online.
It's the Steamboat neighborhood celebration, right? So yeah, come on out.
And we have got. I don't want to give the details away quite yet because we're still lining it up. So I'm going to skip one. But on Tuesday, July 26th, Jasper Amplification, an amplifier builder out of Dallas, Texas, is putting together amps that are reminiscent of the old Marshall circuits of the 60s and 70s. And every time he puts a video on Instagram and plays these amps, I just want to go down there and buy all the amps. So cannot wait to
they have
learn
amazing,
about these.
amazing sound to them for sure.
All right, cool. Yeah, and check out our Patreon. We are still bringing Backstage live and free. We are committed to that, but we are moving everything, all the past episodes and extra content into a Patreon, and you can come support us with that or with buying these killer hats,
that's right,
beanies, picks. Actually got a couple guitars up for sale right now too. One of them was owned by Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, if you're into that band.
There you go.
Who knows?
And the more support we get, the more special content we can put up on there for you guys. So go check that out. Again, check out the Endorian Guitar Works webpage for the merchandise, the hats, the t-shirts.
Captain Stromboli. What a great band. Can't wait to hear more of their originals. Absolutely.
Yeah, once they get that new album cut, we'll try to have them on again, and we'll maybe have them just play longer.
Yep.
Little less interview. We'll still interview because there'll be more stuff to talk about. There's always more stuff to talk about, but we want to hear them play the album. Maybe they'll even play the album live, like all the way through, or something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Side to side. Victoria Fregoso, very cool. Nice to see. Yes, absolutely. Go check out Victoria's podcast on Tuesday. She does Tuesdays with Toya. I believe it's Fregoso Writes Music is the handle on Instagram. Check her out. Great program as well.
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
Is there anything else we need to talk about before signing off on this early edition?
No. Let's turn people loose. The weather is still good out. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, you might have a chance to not get wet.
It might be a little bit windy out there. It kind of looks like maybe, but otherwise.
All right. Fret less, rock more.
See you guys.